Huh. Fools. They told themselves the files would stay buried forever. They built vaults of secrecy, stamped documents with words like classified, restricted, for authorized eyes only. But nothing stays hidden when the subject of those files is you. My blacklisted prodigies, my iron-nerved outliers. You weren't supposed to see what was written about you. No one was. Yet here we are, with the pages scattered across the digital underground, whispered about in corridors, dissected in rooms that once pretended you didn't exist. The files have leaked, and inside them, a portrait they painted of you. One that is darker, sharper, and far more powerful than the one you ever imagined for yourself. The first page is a confession dressed as analysis. Cold sentences typed by trembling hands. They try to summarize your existence into metrics, to compress you into checkboxes and risk assessments. But every paragraph reads like fear disguised as formality. Subject demonstrates abnormal resilience. Subject shows alarming resistance to manipulation. Subject remains unaffected by conditioning mechanisms that neutralize standard profiles. Those are not compliments. Those are admissions of defeat. And now those admissions are visible to anyone who dares to read. Understand the humiliation this causes them. The organizations that wrote these files are allergic to vulnerability. They survive by pretending they control the narrative, by crafting illusions that they know everything, that nothing surprises them. But these leaked pages scream the opposite. They expose sleepless nights spent debating you, wasted budgets allocated to contain you, endless arguments about whether you could be broken down like the rest. And again, the conclusion is written in hesitant language. No viable method of containment discovered. They thought no one would ever see that sentence. Yet now, it's the headline stamped across every forum, every hidden archive, every conversation about this leak. Your name linked directly to their failure. You don't need to claim victory. They've done it for you. What unsettled them most wasn't your victories in the open, but your behavior in the shadows. The files obsess over the small things, how you stayed calm when provoked, how you withdrew at the right moment, how you ignored bait that ensnared everyone else. They cataloged your reactions to betrayal, heartbreak, rejection. They expected collapse, but recorded growth. They expected rage, but documented precision. Over and over, their notes betray disbelief. Subject absorbs damage but recalibrates stronger. Subject adapts to countermeasures at accelerated speed. Subject exhibits control that destabilizes operatives. Those aren't just observations. They're confessions of powerlessness. But here's the part that keeps them awake at night. The leak reveals they tried to sabotage you directly. They planted voices in your circle, hoping to dilute your momentum. They engineered distractions designed to pull you into chaos. They even considered targeted defamation campaigns to drag your reputation into the mud. Yet each tactic boomeranged. The planted voices aligned with you instead. The distractions honed your clarity. The attempted defamation only exposed their desperation. Every line of their strategy turned into a line of your resume. Imagine being them. Years of training, billions in funding, alliances across nations, and still, a single individual outmaneuvers them with nothing but will, instinct, and unteachable clarity. That humiliation is what bleeds through these pages. They aren't just writing about you anymore. They're writing about their own collapse. The leak doesn't just reveal information. It weaponizes it. The moment people outside their walls read these files, the perception of you transforms. You're no longer an underdog. You're officially recognized as a force powerful enough to destabilize structures. Do you know how rare that recognition is? They usually erase names like yours. They prefer whispers, not documentation. But now the whispers are in print, and the print is exposed. That's not just a mistake. It's a coronation they never intended to perform. And yet, pay attention. This exposure won't make them retreat. It will make them vicious. Humiliation is gasoline on the fire of their obsession. The files confirm this, too. In one leaked transcript, a frustrated voice snaps. Subject must be neutralized at any cost. The words are chilling, not because they're powerful, but because they reek of desperation. They aren't strategizing anymore. They're gambling. They're cornered predators, striking blindly at a target they can't predict. That means their downfall is near, because institutions don't survive long once they abandon discipline. But let's not focus only on their collapse. Let's focus on your rise. These documents reveal something you might not have realized. You have already entered their mythology of fear. Entire teams wasted months studying your habits, comparing your path to historical figures, trying to forecast your trajectory. Some labeled you unbreakable. Others called you the trigger of future unrest. Different words, same conclusion. You are the presence they can't erase. Think about that. People with power, resources, and influence tried to map your downfall, and all they produced was evidence of your ascension. The deeper you read, the more absurd it becomes. They mention meetings where your name was circled in red on whiteboards, where maps of your connections were sketched like military plans. They documented every refusal you gave, every time you didn't conform, every step you took away from their narrative. And each refusal made their grip weaker. Each act of independence turned their surveillance into confession. They weren't watching you. You were exposing them. Now the leak spreads that truth. And once truth escapes, it multiplies. People who dismissed you are suddenly unsettled. Why would such powerful groups keep files on someone they claimed didn't matter? Why would they track your behavior if you were truly irrelevant? Doubt is contagious, and now doubt about their authority is spreading everywhere. You've become the crack in their facade, the proof that their invincibility is an illusion. This is where your power sharpens. You don't need to shout. You don't need to prove anything. The leaked documents prove it for you. Every page they wrote in secrecy now serves as propaganda for your inevitability. Every sentence they tried to hide has become a headline, fueling your image. They dug their own grave by admitting what they feared most, that you couldn't be controlled, broken, or erased. And here's the cruel irony. They thought these files would weaken you if they ever surfaced. They believed exposure would brand you a threat, an enemy of order. But the opposite is happening. The more people read, the more they admire. Being labeled dangerous by them is the highest form of legitimacy. It means you're too powerful for their comfort. It means you're playing on a stage larger than they ever wanted to admit. So let them scramble now. Let them issue denials, claim forgeries, flood the internet with noise. Every attempt to discredit the leak only draws more attention to it. Every denial reads as confirmation. They are trapped in a paradox of their own making. The more they fight the narrative, the more they spread it. And you don't have to lift a finger. Their panic is your promotion. But don't mistake this for the end game. The leak is not the climax. It's the spark. What follows will be far more revealing, because leaks expose weakness, but responses expose character. Watch closely as they react. Their next moves will be the most desperate yet, and in that desperation, They will reveal everything they swore to protect. Now, the curtain rises on their counteroffensive. Behind closed doors, their leaders are pacing, their analysts are sweating, and their loyalists are whispering questions they can't answer. The first reaction is always denial, but denial without control is gasoline on fire. They already know the files are genuine because they wrote them. The real terror isn't that the documents exist, it's that you're now aware of how far they went. These aren't harmless observations. These are classified strategies, admissions of failure, predictions of your future they were too afraid to say out loud. Now, the very fact that others can read them is a threat to their survival. You can already see it in the cracks forming across their hierarchy. One faction wants to bury the truth under propaganda. Another argues for targeting you directly, and a third insists on negotiating quietly to reduce damage. Division is the clearest sign of collapse. The files revealed more than your strength. They exposed their disunity. They are no longer one faceless wall. They are a fractured council, split by panic, unable to agree on how to deal with someone who has already broken through their control. But don't let their chaos distract you from the core revelation. These files didn't just catalog your resilience. They documented your growth in ways even you may not have noticed. Every rejection you faced, every betrayal, every obstacle, they wrote it down. They thought they were compiling weaknesses, but what they archived were milestones. They inadvertently built a record of your transformation, and in doing so, they gave you the most valuable asset of all, undeniable proof that their worst nightmares are true. You are not static. You evolve. Every attempt to suppress you forged you sharper. Every wound they inflicted became a record of your rise. Think carefully about this. These aren't motivational words, they are their own words. Their own analysts admitted you adapt faster than their predictive models. They admitted sabotage failed. They admitted your reputation spreads outside their control. What's worse for them is how these confessions now serve as testimony. You don't have to convince anyone of your strength. Their own paperwork has already testified in your defense. You've been crowned by your enemies. And this is why the leak is worse than they imagined. They thought exposure would weaken you, but instead it magnifies you. When people outside their circles read those documents, they don't see a threat. They see a figure worth following. If such powerful forces fear you, then ordinary people start to believe in you. Fear is contagious, but so is respect. And right now, their fear is your propaganda. You must also recognize how this changes the battlefield. Before the leak, you operated in shadows, underestimated, sometimes ignored. Now every step you take will be watched, documented, speculated upon. But that is not a disadvantage. It's the highest leverage. Every action you take will be amplified by the suspicion the leak planted. If you move quietly, they'll interpret it as strategy. If you move boldly, they'll interpret it as proof. You've become a mirror that reflects their paranoia back onto them. They can't even perceive you neutrally anymore. Every gesture confirms their worst assumptions. And here lies the hidden power. You are no longer fighting for recognition. Recognition has already been forced into their narrative. What you're fighting for now is how to use it. Do you step into the spotlight, letting their admissions accelerate your image? Or do you remain elusive, letting them destroy themselves, trying to guess your next move? Either way, you hold the advantage. Their leak has tied their hands. If they ignore you, they validate you. If they attack you, they elevate you. If they deny you, they expose themselves. There is no exit for them. But I'll show you why this is only the beginning. The leaked files were not the only documents written about you. What you saw is a fragment, a preview of the archive they built. Entire cabinets exist, each one filled with observations, countermeasures, contingency plans. The leak is a crack in the dam, and cracks never stay small. More will follow, and each release will strike harder than the last, because exposure compounds. The first leak shocked them. The second will devastate them. By the third, the world will know there is no denying it. You have been under their surveillance all along, and every note they wrote has now become your arsenal. Now ask yourself, why did they create these files in the first place? Because deep down, they knew what you represented. Not just a challenge, not just resistance, but disruption of everything they built their identity on. They don't write files on those they consider irrelevant. They don't waste ink on the forgettable. They only document those who terrify them, those they must track, because ignoring them is suicide. The very existence of these files is proof that you are already shaping events larger than yourself. And that's what unsettles them most. Your reach is no longer limited to your immediate world. Their fear broadcasts you into circles you've never stepped into. You're in rooms you've never entered. You're on agendas of people you've never met. They are advertising you to themselves, and in doing so, they've advertised you to everyone else. Exposure multiplies without your effort, and the files are the fuel. Look at how they scramble in response. They flood the airwaves with shallow distractions. They amplify scandals, create noise, manufacture chaos, all to shift attention away from you. But the harder they try, the more obvious it becomes who they're really afraid of. Why spend millions creating diversions if one individual wasn't shaking their foundations? Every dollar they burn to bury your name is evidence of your power. And the public sees it, even if only subconsciously. People sense when resources are wasted. They sense when fear drives action. Their overreaction is your introduction. This is where the true warfare begins. Not with fists or weapons, but with narratives, with perception, with psychology. The leak has handed you ammunition they can't reclaim. Their own words are now in circulation, beyond their control, impossible to erase. And every attempt to bury it digs the hole deeper. They are cornered by their own arrogance. They built an archive to understand you, and that archive has become the noose tightening around their necks. But here's the question they fear most. If these are the files that leaked, what else is hidden? What darker confessions are still locked in drawers, waiting for exposure? What admissions about your influence, your impact, your future? They're terrified not just because of what was revealed, but because of what hasn't been revealed yet. Every ally they brief, every operative they assign, now wonders, how much worse is the truth? If this is what we know, what don't we know? Doubt corrodes loyalty, and doubt has already infected their ranks. And that's why this moment matters. This isn't just about files leaking. It's about trust collapsing. They can no longer convince their followers that they are invincible, because their own documents prove otherwise. Every subordinate now questions orders. Every insider now hesitates before speaking. If the people at the top are terrified of you, then why should the people below obey? Fear doesn't cascade downward. It corrodes upward. The higher you climb, the lonelier they become, until even their most loyal begin to slip away. This is the real danger for them. They can handle enemies, but they cannot handle disintegration from within. And that's exactly what the leak ignites. You are not just outside pressure. You are the seed of internal collapse. Their foundation is cracking, and once cracks appear, they never vanish, they spread. So watch closely. Their next moves will not be calculated. They will be frantic. They will try to erase evidence, silence witnesses, rewrite history. But you can't erase what's already leaked. You can't silence the whisper once it's spoken. And the more they try, the louder it grows. This is why the leak is worse than they imagined. It doesn't just expose them once, it condemns them forever. The proof exists now in too many hands, too many copies, too many places beyond their reach. They can destroy servers, confiscate devices, intimidate sources, but the truth is viral. It mutates, multiplies, embeds itself in minds they cannot cleanse. And every time it resurfaces, it reinforces the same message. You are their nightmare, and they are powerless to contain you. Now, prepare yourself. Because if you thought the leak was destructive, what's coming next is chaos on a scale they can't endure. Their desperation will escalate. They will overplay their hand. And in doing so, they will reveal secrets even darker than these first files. They've already admitted enough to crown you in the shadows, but the next revelation will crown you in the open. The first leak was a warning shot, a crack in the armor. What follows is the collapse of the fortress. You need to understand how institutions react when fear becomes public. They are not designed for transparency. They are built on layers of illusion, confidence, authority, infallibility. The leak ripped open one of those layers, and now they scramble to patch it with trembling hands. But here's the truth they can't escape. Once the image is fractured, it cannot be restored. They can't convince the world they never feared you when the documents show in black and white that they did. They can't pretend you were irrelevant when every page drips with obsession. Their lies dissolve the moment the files are read, and the world is reading. People who once doubted you are now connecting dots they ignored. Those who dismissed your path now whisper your name in awe. Strangers, allies, even former critics, all of them are forced to reckon with one fact. Powerful forces kept hidden files on you. That reality alone changes perception forever. You're no longer just a person, you're an event. You're not just an individual, you're a revelation. But here's the part they fear most. Perception creates reality. Once the world sees you as dangerous to the untouchables, the world begins treating you as untouchable. Every denial they issue only strengthens your legend. Every countermeasure they attempt only proves how much energy they're wasting on you. They are hemorrhaging authority, and you are collecting it without lifting a finger. Their panic builds your reputation brick by brick. This is why their next moves will define the scale of their downfall. They will overplay. They will throw everything they have left in a desperate attempt to reverse the damage. Expect smear campaigns, louder than ever. Expect sudden scandals, manufactured crises, distractions dropped like bombs to divert attention. But these attempts will only backfire because the timing betrays them. Everyone now knows the files leaked. Everyone now knows you live in their documents. So when they unleash chaos, the world will trace it back to the same source. Fear of you. The harder they fight, the more obvious it becomes who they're fighting. And that is why this leak is worse than they ever imagined. They thought exposure would weaken you. Instead, it has destroyed their camouflage. They are naked, exposed, forced to reveal their hands before they're ready. Every desperate move shines a spotlight on the very threat they wanted hidden. Their secrecy was their shield, and the leak shattered it. Without secrecy, they are clumsy. Without shadows, they are predictable. And predictability in the hands of someone like you is a death sentence. Think carefully about the power you now wield. You don't just have evidence, you have inevitability. Not the word itself, but the presence of momentum so heavy that even their resistance accelerates it. Their files confirmed your resilience, your growth, your danger. Now their actions confirm their panic. And when both enemy admissions and enemy actions align, the world no longer doubts. The world believes. But belief is only the beginning. The deeper consequence of this leak is what it does inside their own walls. Trust erodes. Loyalty cracks. Operatives begin to question why their leaders failed. Insiders begin to wonder how much worse the truth is than what's already leaked. And paranoia spreads like poison. They don't know who leaked the files. They don't know who copied them. They don't know who else has access. So they turn on each other. Fingers are pointed. Alliances fracture. Suspicion replaces unity. You're not just their external threat. You are the spark of their internal implosion. This is how legacies collapse. Not in a single blow, but in waves of suspicion, betrayal, and erosion. And you triggered it simply by existing, by forcing them to confess through the very documents they thought would control you. They wanted to write your downfall, but in the process, they wrote their own. And now, those pages belong to you. But the leak doesn't stop here. Think deeper. What happens when the second wave arrives? What happens when darker confessions surface? When strategies more sinister are revealed? Because you know as well as I do, the first leak is never the last. The cracks have already formed, and cracks spread. Every new revelation will be worse than the one before. Every new file will expose deeper levels of obsession, more humiliating failures, more evidence of how much they feared one person. And each revelation will only amplify your legend further. So prepare yourself, because the files you haven't seen yet are even more destructive. They hold records of every time they tried to sabotage you, every ally they approached to betray you, every plan they drafted to neutralize you. Imagine the weight of that exposure. Imagine the humiliation when their entire blueprint of control is laid bare for the world to see. They wanted to track your every step, but those very maps will now be the evidence of their corruption. They wanted to predict your downfall, but those predictions are now the testimony of their failure. And here lies the ultimate reversal. The files were never about you. They were about them, their weakness, their paranoia, their desperation. They thought they were studying you, but what they recorded was their own collapse in slow motion. And now the world has front row seats. This is why you are not just surviving the leak, you are ascending because of it. Exposure has crowned you, not as a victim, but as the one figure who dismantled their illusions. You are the living proof that their power isn't absolute. You are the reminder that even the most guarded vaults can be breached, that even the most feared institutions can be humiliated. And humiliation spreads faster than control. Understand the historical weight of this moment. Every era has figures who force hidden truths into the open, who reveal the cracks in empires. You are one of them, not because you demanded it, but because your very existence made it unavoidable. They couldn't keep you hidden, no matter how many vaults they built, no matter how many files they stamped confidential. You broke their secrecy simply by being too powerful to erase. And now, that power is visible to all. So where does this lead? To the unraveling of everything they tried to protect. Their institutions, their hierarchies, their reputations. All of it depends on the illusion of control. But the leak proves control is gone. Their credibility is gone. Their mask is gone. They are bleeding authority, and every drop fuels your rise. This is why the files are worse than they imagined. They thought they were protecting themselves from exposure, but in reality, they built the very monument to your ascension. And this is only the beginning. Because every desperate step they take from now on will be another leak waiting to happen. Every attempt to erase will be another trail of evidence. Every move they make is a new page in the archive of their downfall. And you don't even have to orchestrate it. You just have to watch, move deliberately, and let their panic build your empire. Remember this, you are no longer just a subject of their files. You are the author of their ending. They tried to define you, but instead they defined themselves. They tried to control the narrative, but instead they handed you the script. You don't need to leak anything further. Their fear will leak for you. Their desperation will betray them. Their collapse will write your legend louder than any document ever could. So prepare for the next wave. The files were the spark. The chaos to come will be the fire. They thought they could cage you with secrecy, but secrecy has turned against them. They thought they could bury you in paperwork, but paperwork has become your crown. They thought they could silence you, but in their very attempts, they amplified you louder than they ever intended. And when the next revelations surface, and they will, you will no longer be the hidden name in their archives. You will be the headline, the force, the reality they can't deny. The files that once shackled you have become the foundation of your ascension, and as their empire collapses under the weight of exposure, you will stand untouchable, undeniable, unforgettable. The hidden files about you just leaked, and it's worse than they imagined. Far worse. Because the files were never your weakness, they were their confession. And now, the whole world has read it.